What's going on, guys? It's Kyle again with DTOM Knives and Gear, and today we're going to be talking about this guy. This is the Strider AR .75 or 3/4. This one was loaned by our good friend Doug Sharp_Marbles. His link will be down in the description for his Instagram page. Super cool dude. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back, guys. So, Strider. You guys, if you watch my channel, you know I like Strider. I have the Strider SMF. It is currently not here. It is on loan to Kyle Lamphere, which, speaking of that, he has one of these, and it is a custom with some really badass work on the scales. Definitely go check that out. It is like the best looking Strider AR .75 that I've ever seen. It's kind of like the tree bark that that we have on the Evo, but a lot more detailed. So pretty. So, but you guys know I like Striders. I have the SMF. I have the Strider SNG. And if you kind of, if you look at these, my little 3-year-old is banging on the door. If you look at these, they're very, they have definite design features that are similar, right? Because it's Strider. This one in particular, though, is produced and made by Medford Knives. I also like Medford Knives. Both companies are USA companies, ran, I think, by good men, good people. And so this one automatically is a good one in my book because of that. America, baby. But it was very interesting to find out that the Strider knife was made by Medford. You can definitely tell that with this knife. This knife is definitely, it feels like a Medford to me. The ergonomics, however, are definitely a Strider ergonomics. I love the way that Strider does this, especially with the forward finger choil. So for me, ergonomically, Striders really win. And this one is no exception. It's a very, very comfortable knife for my hand size. This is not a small knife, but not a big knife. This one is probably the smallest Medford / Strider that I have ever owned. I don't own this. This is Doug's. But as far as handled, this one is pretty nice. Now you've got your typical Medford / Strider construction. Very robust, very heavy duty. You've got really thick slabs of titanium and a very thick blade stock of about 190 thousandths. So, yep, you've got some blade stock, but it also has Medford's wonderful, wonderful grind. Look at the grind lines on this knife. I love Medford grinds. All of these are done by hand. And so you get kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion, with this knife. It's not perfect, but as far as why you buy a Medford and or a Strider, you're looking for a overbuilt tank of a knife that can do whatever you need it to do, correct? Well, that's what you get with this. You have a hollow grind on here, and it is seriously a slicing machine. Way more slicier than I thought it would be. And of course, a lot of people say Medford Striders, they don't cut, blah, blah, blah. That's bullshit. This one does. This one is about 20 thousandths, and it even gets as thin as 14 thousandths behind the edge, and it is a cutter. Even with this huge, thick 190 thousandths blade stock, it is it's quite impressive. Okay, I'll just put it that way. This is a whole deployment, and this is S90V. They make this in a few different steels. This one in particular is S90V. S90V is a definite super steel, especially as far as edge retention. So that is nice. Of course, your regular titanium handles, which doesn't have any internal milling, which does add to the weight. But you guys know me, I don't care. But if you are, I mean, even though this is a little bit smaller of a package than you get with, it's a little bit smaller of a package. It's not a small knife. It still has some weight to it. It does have the Strider pocket clip, and the Strider pocket clip I do like on all the others that I've had because I like to grab the knife and pull it out this way. Doesn't sit deep carry. None of the Striders are going to. But the pocket clip works great. It's got good retention. The only thing is whenever you have it in your pocket, it when you're getting your hand past this, because it sits over to the side, you can feel that jimping when you're putting your hand in your pocket. It's not a huge deal. The jimping back here is sharp, but not like, it's crazy. The jimping up here is a little bit sharper though. And that's Medford Strider for you. That's the jimping that they like. These are tools that were designed for, you know, soldiers and first responders, those kind of things. And so the jimping on here is purposeful, and a lot of people don't like the jimping, but it's there for a reason, okay? These knives are really meant to be worn with gloves. Now, that being said, it's sharp, it's aggressive, but it's, if you were to just use this knife for cutting, I don't know, a house full of carpet or something, yeah, you might feel it. But in regular EDC tasks and doing just that kind of stuff, it's not bad. Now, my hands are not the most delicate and they're also not the most tough, so just take that for what it is. You have your Strider logo on this side, and then on the other side, you have S90V. That's all you've got on the blade. I like that. I love the satin, well, of course, the belt satin on the bevels, and then it's kind of like it's satin / stonewash on the flat. It's really, really cool looking. I like it. The handles are rounded off and chamfered where they need to be. It's a very comfortable knife. I really love the ergonomics here. It's just, if you've seen any of my other videos with the Strider style, even the Evo, the Custom Knife Factory Evo, the ones that kind of flare out in the back with a finger choil, it's just absolutely my cup of tea. This one is no different. This one does have a blue over travel stop / lock bar stabilizer, kind of like Rick Hinderer, and it works really well. You can get all kind of colors and different materials for that. So love that. This thing is definitely a spanner. You know, typical from Strider. It's not proprietary, it's just a spanner bit, which a lot of people are just not used to seeing. So you can definitely take this knife apart if you want to. I can't remember really what the Strider warranty is like, about if they want you to take your knives apart. Most of us are going to do it anyway. So it does have some pretty beefy standoffs, and one hell of a stop pin. Look at that big bad boy. Definitely an overbuilt knife. It is one of those knives where that stop pin is only on the close too, by the way, because you have the external stop pins right here, and you can use that to flick the knife open with those. It's just not meant for that. So all in all, it has everything that I like. I like big, robust, overbuilt knives, and this is definitely it. It's not perfect. You know, you've got your good chamfering and good rounding off in places, but I'll probably get to show you when we turn the camera around. But inside this hole is not chamfered at all. Matter of fact, it's worse than that. It actually has a burr on the inside of this going. Yeah, I'll have to show you, I guess, when we turn the camera around. But it is not finished very well inside the hole. Now, most Medfords that I've had with hole deployment, it's always been kind of sharp, but it didn't have a big old burr hanging off of that. So that is kind of disappointing. You know, it doesn't look good inside, just looked like it was not really finished very well. But other than that, the only other sharp spot is the access to the lock bar. You can get your finger in there and disengage it just fine, but it is not the most rounded off. There's like a little step there, which we'll show when we turn the camera around as well. But it's not rounded. It's cut, but not rounded, if that makes sense. I'll show you when we turn the camera around. But solid frickin' lockup. I mean, this thing it's a tank. It really is a tank. I would have no qualms about this ever breaking on me. This is one of those knives, guys, where you buy this and it will definitely last you a lifetime. It's something you can hand off to your kids. That's what you get when you get a Strider, a Medford, a Hinderer. Those are the kind of well-built knives that you can do that with. Not to say that other knives are not like that and they're not well built, but You know, Chris Reeve is another one. You can probably, I mean, as much as Jake over Bearded Gear just gives, you know, Chris Reeve's knives, hell, he still says that they are well-built knives. They're just not his cup of tea. So those American companies, I'm telling you guys, if you haven't experienced, you need to. If you're a knife collector. Now, these things aren't cheap. These things run about $600. So these are not for everybody, okay? And it is running on washers instead of bearings. It, you know, it doesn't have a lock bar insert, or does it? I think this is just carbonized, or whatever you call it, titanium. Yeah, so it is titanium on titanium, but I think the top of it is carbonized. Is that what it's called? I can't remember what the process is that they do to the titanium. That's gonna drive me crazy. Anyway, somebody say it down in the comments. The actual stop, the stop bar, stop. Blade stops, Jesus, Mother Mary. They're actually pretty tiny, but they fit right there in that little spot, which is why you see this. It kind of looks a little weird on the design, but that's where the blade stops go, and it really does lock this thing up so freaking solid. Oh man. So, anyways, as far as the knife is concerned, that's what I think when I hold this knife. Well-built, American-made badassery that does cut. How well does it cut? Well, let's just take a look at some cardboard here. Oh, slice, slice. I mean, it does really, really well. How about the paracord? Can't get any better than that. How about the tough stuff, the twisted sisal rope? This stuff is always kind of a pain to do this kind of cut on, so let's see. Oh, yeah. Cut it and cut it well. So, guys, I'm telling you, Strider Medfords don't cut. I mean, that's just horse shit. I mean, if you're looking at blade forms and you're hearing that, it's because people don't like Greg Medford or Mick Strider for some other reasons. Both of them, I like. You know, you've got quite a few different things going around, and they, you know, I pay attention, but me personally, I like them both. I like what they're doing. They make really well-made knives. But they're not for everybody. Like I said, okay, the action. This one, when it's relatively new from what I understand, whenever Lefty EDC had it, you know, he was manipulating and whatnot. So now, if I hold this knife and I want to flick it with no wrist, I can. I don't know if you saw that, but that's the dust from my fingernail coming off because this damn thing is so sharp. But it is now broke in to where I can middle finger flick this without any wrist. The closing action, super duper smooth. It is not a fall shutter, guys, because it's on those washers. And I haven't taken this apart, obviously. It's not my knife, but I think they're oversized phosphor bronze washers that just work. It's going to be a lot less maintenance if you do happen to work in a very dirty environment. It's going to be just fine. And I think not have as, you know, you're not going to have to take this thing apart versus something on bearings as much. So that's why I like washers. Now, I am a fidgety guy. I'm a knife collector, hardler, you know, not much of a user. And so those really nice closing, smooth action on bearings, I love it, okay? And that's, most of my knives are like that. But I also have other knives that I dedicate for work. And those ones, I like to have phosphor bronze washers, just because of that reason. So let's go ahead. I want to show you a few of those things I was talking about. Get behind the camera. We'll get some specs and some size comparisons to get a closer look on this guy. And yeah, the hardware, I mean, everything about it is really well made, and you're going to see that. Right. All right, let's get a closer look at this guy. As you can tell, it does have the tumbled titanium scales. I do like the tumbling. It's a very rough tumbling from Medford knife and tool that really hides wear very, very well. And so I am a fan of that. You've got a tumbled pocket clip. Just really well done all the way around, and oversized hardware that just, you know, it instills confidence in what you're getting. But inside this lock bar, that's what I'm talking about. It's not rounded off at all. And so you get a little bit of, you have a little bit more pressure to get that lock bar out of the way. And because of that pressure, it can get a little bit annoying on your finger to get it out of the way because of that. Let's see if we can get this in here, because holy crap, that is the finishing. Let me get some flashlights. Yeah. the finishing on the inside of this area is just not done well. It's kind of hard to show you, but you know, you can kind of tell the finishing process just wasn't all there. And the burr that I'm talking about is right here. That definitely helps with grip. And this thing's definitely made for, you know, gloves, but it's just a barely hit around that with the tool path to knock that edge off and that burr off, I think would be beneficial. I don't really know why they did that, but hey, to each their own, right? So I really do love the look of this knife. I didn't think, I mean, obviously I don't think it looks as good as something like the SMF or the S&G, but ergonomically it has all those features that really make this a dream in the hand. It is not exactly a dream in the pocket, but it is a dream in the hand. You know, guys, I carry a bunch of heavy stuff, so it doesn't really bother me, but because of the heft and where the pocket clip sits, it's definitely not the best in the pocket. So you guys know, I mean, if I'm saying that, then it's like, okay, well, but I wouldn't, carrying a knife, you know, and how it feels in pocket is pretty important, right? But if I had this knife, would I carry it? Absolutely. So let's go ahead and put it up against some other ones. Here it is against another Strider design, the Strider S&G. So the smaller one compared to the SMF. And as you can see, they're pretty similar in size. You get a little bit thicker on the 0.75, definitely a taller blade. But, you know, pretty similar in overall size. You do have the same kind of style pocket clip. So very similar. Ergonomics on both of these are just amazing. Let's go another titanium frame lock here. Here is the Chavez 229. And yep, 229 is just a little bit longer. The overall length of the 0.75 AR is 8 inches. So not dramatically huge. You do have a closed length of 4.75 with a blade length of 3.25 with 190 thousandths thick and about 530 thousandths thick this way. So not skinny, but not dramatically thick compared to some of the knives we've had on the channel, right? And then, like I said, with this wonderful grind, it gets to about 20 all the way to 14 thousandths behind the edge, which is just amazing. Let's see a couple of other ones here. We'll put up a Medford that I have as of right now. Guys, if you are looking for a Medford Marauder H, I have this one. This one is like seriously 2 weeks old. Paid $735 for this thing, and I am now selling it for $625 if you are watching this in the near future and you're interested. Please hit me up on Instagram at DTOM Knives and Gear, and we might be able to work something out. I've got to sell this to fund something else, so it's got to go. But as you can see, definitely similarities in build between these two Medfords, and of course are the Strider AR because it's made by Medford, and then the Medford Marauder. The blade grinds are the exact same. It's just a work of art on how they do that. And then of course another well-built hard-use knife, the Rick Hinderer XM18. This is the 3.5 inch. Still pretty similar. Both have great ergonomics. Both are just built to the max. And so this is why you pick this company, right? Strider, Medford, is that our Hinderer. You want that kind of build quality, and I'm telling you guys, you get it. It is one of the, this is one of the most well-built, like robust. I can't fathom this thing breaking ever. That's how sturdy it feels. It is one hell of a tank of a knife that actually has an edge on it that cuts like a dream. So the guys who are looking for a knife like that, I highly recommend taking a look at this. Now, they are back in stock as we speak on DLT. So I will have it linked down below so you can, I don't think all of them are in stock. You have a couple of variations, but I did look before I started the video and it is there. So definitely go and check that out. $595 is not chump change. I totally get it. But if you are like me and you like these American-made badass overbuilt knives, this one is a one to look at for sure because it's not huge. like some of the other ones that I carry. If you're, you know, if you're looking at something like that and you want a smaller package, you really can't go wrong. Now they do have smaller knives. You get the PT from Strider. You've got the Slim Midi Marauder, all those that you can look at. But for something, this is one of the newest models, and yeah, definitely go check it out. I'm telling you. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you stopping by. Doug, you are the man for letting me check this out. I am really impressed. I love this knife. I definitely can recommend this knife. I wish they would have done a few little tweaks for the fit and finish, but for a hard use work knife that's made for, you know, using with gloves, I'm going to give it a pass. Guys, I love you all. Stay safe in this crazy world we are living in, and we will see you in the next one.